सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य मामेकं शरणं व्रज.
The miseries of material existence and the most hopeless conditions of life is the best possible opportunity to turn to God.
You're listening to Bare Knuckle Bhakti Shorties on the Bhakti Recovery Podcast with Jiva G, coming at you every Monday with a little spiritual some. Hello. Welcome to Bare Knuckle Bhakti. It is Monday. No, it is Sunday, actually. And this is going to be released tomorrow. I really wanted to talk about a couple of things. The importance in my recovery, in my spiritual life, to forgive, and the importance that what that plays in my life in order for me to move on. Trying to break unhealthy family traditions that are passed on from one generation to the next. At the same time, staying true to myself and my higher power and my program, respecting others in my family, but also being able to say my truth and stand where I am in my life at this moment and tell my truth. What I'm speaking of is clearly, when I was raised as a child, I don't know about you guys, but like us Gen Xers, we were born to the boomers. We were one of the boomers, and as far as I'm concerned, it was just like I came out of my mom, and then she was like, "All right, go figure it out. I'll take care of your food and your room and board, but the rest you're going to have to try to figure out. And if you get in trouble, I'll figure it out somehow," sort of, kind of like that. I'm sure it wasn't that extreme, but it felt that way, and it feels that way even to this day. Now, I'm not here to complain about what a terrible childhood I had or, what a terrible mother I had. I'm not here to say anything like that. I'm here to say right now what really is inspiring me to talk is that I had a turn of relationship dynamics with my mother recently. And it's been living rent-free in my head for the last 2-3 months. And I think the last time we talked was about 2 months ago. Without going into all the details about the past, and going actually more into details about how I perceive and experience the dynamic and the change in the dynamic of our relationship was very important and is very important for me to express also to her. And the reason why I'm saying this to everybody is because I'm encouraging every single person out there to find that truth, the healthy truth. Find that within yourself and clear up that relationship. Get it straight. Be transparent. Be very clear. And when we're clear and when we have clear boundaries about what we want and what we do not want in our lives, we can express those in a compassionate way without being mean or nasty, without being hateful. But we can say, hey, this far but no farther. Or, hey, I know we all have our hangups and character defects, but I can't handle this, or I can't deal with this. And here are some ways or suggestions that I can suggest that we can go further. I'm not here to cut anyone off or say, to be nasty. All I really want to do is just make peace within myself, make peace within the family unit. I can do the blame game. I never really was a huge blame game person, but I could do it. And I can see the faults in everybody. I can also own the faults in myself. I mean, not when you're 5 years old, it's kind of hard. My sponsor, actually, one of my sponsors, my older sponsors from way back in the day, told me that anything in my eighth and ninth step shouldn't be on my eighth step list, making amends, until I'm in the age of 15. Before that, I'm a child, and I don't really have amends to make. Or was it 12? I can't remember. 12 or 15. I think she'd said 15 first, and then she heard my story and was like, no, 12. True story. True story. Nonetheless, I think it's so important if we set it right. Set it right. It's incredibly empowering. I wrote a very, very nice, deep, compassionate, yet very firm. I don't know how compassionate it was, but a very firm letter about where I stand, how I feel about the dynamic of our relationship changing, and why I think it happened, and what I wish from her, and what I'm willing to do. And I got a pretty good response. The response was, yes, I'm sorry. I'm really glad to get this letter from you because she had also been agonizing in the last few months about the turn in our relationship. I'm willing to talk about that. That's the goal in my life. I don't want to live my life full of resentment. I don't want to live my life full of hate, confusion, angst, anxiety, anger. I don't want any of those things. They're already there without any of my emotional stuff. That's why I do the steps. I'm working. I have, I'm doing this SAGE group. I don't know if you guys have never heard of it. I'm kind of part of this community. It's called the Wisdom of the Sages, and they have like SAGE groups. So I'm in this SAGE group, and we had all sort of made a pact with one another to do, 1 to 3 things this week to better our situation and to reach more for our spiritual life, no matter what that is. And I, and it came to me and I was like, okay, I'm going to make my bed. Right back to the basics, guys, right back to the basics. Believe it or not, making my bed was a spiritual experience. The first time I started taking responsibility to make my bed. I stopped making my bed a few months ago. Now I'm making my bed. And when I make my bed, I say, thank you, God, for letting me have the steadiness to make my bed. I go way off track. And things like making my bed put me on track. I've also made a commitment to do 200. I saw this cute little YouTube video of this Asian man, so adorable. I'll put it in the show notes. I'm going to put it in the show notes. And it's like this, it's kind of like, he's like, you do this 200 times and, good for your hip and good for your shoulder, good for your neck, and you lose weight. And he was so cute. So I've been doing this little exercise 200 times a day. It's like 5-10 minutes. And it's excellent. And I've been doing that for the last 3 days. And I'm hoping I'm doing it tomorrow as well. I mean, these are the little things, right? People think, oh, what does that have to do with spirituality? Well, it does, especially for me. I will let myself get super tamasic, like extra large tamasic. I mean, I don't know about tamasic, but yeah, near that, like start eating chips at night, start eating, pizza again and processed food. Well, not many processed foods, but like bread and sugars and all of that stuff. That's disgusting. It's dead food that makes me feel dead. And it does not enlighten me. It does not enrich me. It gives me no minerals. It gives me nothing but dead weight. It's dead food. So when I don't eat that kind of stuff and go in a direction, small, simple things, a little exercise, making my bed, keeping it neat, keeping it tidy. Those are the things that are going to elevate me spiritually. I've experienced that. Anyway, so this is all kind of happening this week, these things where I just like, I got up and I was like, this can't go on anymore. I have to write this letter. I don't know if I feel better. I just know that I had to say it. I had to say it. This letter had to be said. And let's see what happens in the conversation. No one's going to be screaming at each other. No one's going to be yelling at each other. I mean, unfortunately, my mom, she does see her part, but she does take that and whip herself with it. She's very, she feels very guilty. So I'm also very careful not to make her feel bad, because we all, we made mistakes. We made mistakes, and we're just born with what we're born with. And I was born with that kind of mom, and she was born with that kind of life and her relationship with her children. That's her thing. I don't take it personally. So, yeah, I'm really hoping that healing without compromise of my integrity and my truth. And I don't mean like my truth and my integrity. The integrity that I have is not mine. It's a clear offer, like ether and truth. That's all God and love. And I learned all of everything that I have good in my life without the innate part of me, that part and partial of God, all that innate stuff that I know, anything that I really know, like knowledgeably, without being an intuition, is all attributed to the 12 steps and to Bhakti yoga and to Christianity and to a lot of God-related things. I can't attribute that to myself. I don't have big ideas. My big ideas got me, homeless and scrumming and humming on the street. Yeah. So I wanted to share that with you guys. I really wanted for everyone to know that we always have a choice. When we get to a place of a spiritual program, spiritual progress, a spiritual life, and we've been on that path for a while, we really, really, really get to a place where these things become second nature and it's not such a struggle anymore. So keep going, keep going. Even the times where I felt like I was going to give up because life just got too crazy, too painful, I always had something to go back to, and it wasn't a person. It was my trust and faith that saved my ass so many times. And when that doesn't save my ass, I've been steady going to AA and practicing these principles in all of my affairs for 27 years. And I could definitely fall back on that. So making my bed is a prayer. It's a prayer to God saying, I want to move forward in good, orderly direction. Doing those 200 things a day, those little, I can't even describe it. I don't even want to describe the exercise. I'm just going to put it in the show notes. Doing those two things, that's going forward in my spiritual program. It's all spiritual because it's all moving forward. Out of the tamas, out of the rajas. This is the goal. This is the goal. So I think we're at a natural end at a little over 16 minutes. And I wish you guys a wonderful week. Tune in on Thursday for an interview. I don't remember who I have in line next, but I'm sure it's a wonderful one. Doing really good interviews at the moment. I'm excited to release them. Excited for all of you guys to join in. So thanks again for listening. I really appreciate it. I love all of you, and have a really fantastic Monday. Haribol. Thanks for listening. I hope you liked the Monday Shorties. Don't forget to check out our full-length episodes on Thursdays. If you like what you heard, spread the word. Peace out.
सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य मामेकं शरणं व्रज.
The miseries of material existence and the most hopeless conditions of life is the best possible opportunity to turn to God.